Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Do Bonsai. It's now Saturday morning of the weekend of the Newark show, the Bonsai Fest. Ryan will be making his way down here at some stage this morning. So I thought, seeing as I worked on one of his trees that he gave me yesterday, let's work on another tree that he gave me today. It needs a bit of weeding, but let's get into it and get it repotted. So there it is, a nice Acer in a nice pot, and the weeds have totally overtaken it. I was unable to get to this one too much, and the weeds have just taken over. We need to get the weeds out to stop them strangling the root system and destroying the foliage that's growing in up top. So without further ado, let's get set up, get it out of the pot and see what the root system's like. So here we are again. Let's have a look underneath, see where the wire is, because you know it's going to be wired in properly. There it is. And if we just cut these wires away, hopefully this will lift out of the pot. No, it's nicely secured in there. Oh, it's solid. Right, let's pull some weeds out so we can see the edges, and we'll get into going down the edge. I've noticed that this pot has got some cracks in it around the edge. We probably will still be able to use it. Oh, in fact, it's actually cracked down this front edge. I think the pot is just going to come apart, unfortunately. I don't know how it's broken, but it has. We can have a look at that. We've got our kintsugi kit. We may be able to kintsugi this. I don't know whether you can see that on the camera there, but it's got a crack down the front, and it only just goes into the inside of the pot. It doesn't carry on through, but there are some additional cracks along the top rim, and then round the back there's additional cracks. So I don't know what's happened to this pot. Oh, there's a crack down that side, so I don't know whether it's where it's been outside in the weather, who knows, but we'll have a look to see if we can fix that maybe. But for now, let's work on the tree at hand. We've got plenty of pots, we can always put it in a new pot. So let's get the top of the root system dragged out, remove these surface weeds. Get the wire out that's holding the tree in. That should just pull out, really. It's in there strong. So let's work out these surface roots and surface weeds. This looks like it was planted in the ibuki soil. So Ryan put it into some really nice soil. The ibuki soil is 30% pumice, well 33%. 33% pumice, 33% lava rock and 33% akadama. And what we will be putting it in is 30, 30, 30, 10, which is pumice, akadama and lava rock, but the extra 10% is zeolite. see if we can, so the root system's similar to yesterday's, it's nice and tight down the bottom. And it'll be a good job that we're doing this, because with how tight the roots are, it does seem to have been quite dry in this root system. So I think we'll come in with the root hook. And just work our way around the tree. Yeah, this soil is really clumped together. The root hook's doing a great job breaking it down. I've struggled with the little brass rake. The little brass rakes are really good and nice, but when you're getting into some serious roots, you really do need a hook or a strong chopstick that you can really go at it with. So we're just stabbing in and pulling slightly to release the soil from the root system. And I'll just keep going away at this until we get further into these roots, to save you getting too much bored, and we'll come back when we're further into the root system. So we've been going at this for what feels like an eternity, but a little while, and we're getting into the middle of the root ball now. We've just had a little clean up, got rid of all the surface soil and the bits that have come out, and now we just need to get rid of as much of this original soil that's matting up the roots. So we shall continue working away, getting all this old soil out. And again, I'll disappear for however long it takes, and we'll come back when we're working on the roots again. So we're back again. We've got most of the old soil out. We may leave some in the middle, but some of it's quite old. We just need to see if there's any roots in there that are coming straight down that need to be taken off, but they look pretty good to me so far. It's a good radial root base on this. Few roots going off in some strange and weird directions, but nothing too strange, too outlandish. So it will just be a case of working it out as much as possible and then getting it into its either the same pot, even though it's got a crack in it, or we'll find a pot to put it in. So we're nearly there. Let's get tidied up again, and then we'll come back in and have another look at the root system. So there we are with the root system. I'm just going to give it a little wet, which will help some of that last bits of soil come out. and it'll just hopefully keep the roots happy for now. As you can see, we've got quite a good radial type root base going on in here. Little bits of soil just being freed up now. We'll give it another little water through because it seemed to rinse it out, that. Yeah, it's really freed up the soil, adding a bit of water to it, so that's good. Bits of moss, bits of weed. Some chunky lava rock in the middle of this as well. That's coming out. And I think that's going to do it. We'll just give it a slight profile pruning. And we'll get cleaned up again and come back. See, the root system's looking really nice. Hopefully it'll enjoy itself in its new pot. So I've just been scrabbling around to see what pots we've got. We've got the pot that it originally was in, which is a bit damaged, or there's this drum style pot which I think is probably just a bit too small, and then there's this oval pot which you can see there's a bit of a crack in there. That's where the foot joins, and then underneath it's had a chip on where the foot is. Nothing too detrimental. Let's see how it fits in both. I think it's going to be too big for the drum pot, and if we were to take quite a bit of root off, it would go in there quite nicely, but I want to avoid taking too much more root off. And then in this oval pot we could probably get the root in once the soil's mounded up without losing too much more altogether. So I think we're going to go with the oval pot. So let's prep the pot. So the first thing, we've got 2 holes for wire, so let's get our wire cut and measured. And then we'll measure between the holes, bending with our gin pliers. I've just had a message from Ryan, he's on his way, so exciting times lay ahead. And we'll just get this wire into the pot. And that'll be him ready for time tying the tree down. A couple of our pre-made screens. We shan't be wiring these in, we'll just place them over the holes because they're big enough. And then some of our soil. It's still not been sieved again, but hopefully it will be fine. Just get a good base layer of soil in, mound it up in the middle. And then we'll get our tree. This is the front of the pot that was already decided. And then we need a front for the tree. Now we have this big root coming down here and a nice focal point of an old cut with some big root at the side of it. That could be a good front. And then we've just got some nice nibari roots at the top here. So I think I'm going to go with the focal point of the previous cut, and we'll just get this into the pot and work the soil down and in. And I'm just going to check, there's just a root actually that's going upwards here. I'm just going to take that off. All the rest is going down nicely, and I'm just going to check for level in the pot, and that is pretty spot on. We'll just get it at the right angle, just slightly coming towards us, and then we're going to bring the wire across the side of the tree there. So I'll just start the wiring in. Let's get the soil. So we'll just work this in. We'll get some chopsticks this time, I think. There's my chopstick. We'll get all this worked in because there is a lot of air gaps in here. So the soil's disappearing down into the root. Yeah, the soil's disappearing into those air pockets very well, so filling in all those gaps. That's coming along very nicely. We'll just tie the tree in, so we'll get rid of the excess wire there, and then we'll just pull and twist. That's in there nicely. We don't want to go too far because it's over the root. We don't want to risk damaging the root too much. And we'll just get some more soil. Continue to work the soil in. Just continue to work the soil in. And if we do venture out to get moss for the last tree, we'll definitely get some for this one as well. Probably moss round the outside, leaving the nabari open. So we'll just get a final top layer of soil in there. That's a little bit of soil. There's just a root sticking up there, we'll just take that away. And there we are. So we'll water it through. Right, we'll let that soak through. And we'll come back. So that's had a little while to soak. I've been and made a cup of tea. Tom will be glad to hear a nice cup of tea. One of my favourite bits of the day, even though I can't really drink a full cup at the moment, but there you go, it's another story. and just give this another good thorough drenching and let it soak through, and we'll do one more and then get tidied up and see what it looks like in the pot. So it's had a good bit of time for that to soak in, so we'll come in with the final drenching. We'll let that soak through, clean it up, and then we'll have a look to see what it looks like in the pot. So here we are with the tree, everything nicely cleaned up, freshly potted, watered well through. We're not going to do any work to the top because it's not the right time. There is some things that probably need looking at and attention paying to, but we're just going to let everything grow for the rest of this year, and then we'll do some selection when it comes to the right time. So there it is. Quite happy with that one. So that's going to do it for another one of Ryan's trees. This is fast becoming a bit of a Ryan session, isn't it, again? The trees that he gave me needed obviously the bit of work doing on them, so it was a good time to get them, and just before he comes down as well, so he doesn't shout at me. And they're wired in as well, so he can't shout at me. Hopefully everything's just about right. Get out there, make the best of the rest of your day, be kind to each other, animals and the planet, and as always, I'll see you again in the next one. But hopefully I'll see some of you later on today, and most of you on Sunday.